Second game, ban and pick phase. So Sivir off the bat, don't want to give it to Kinzen. Obviously, Kinzen lords on the Sivir. Now Malphite being banned yet again here for the side of Imperium Pro Team Blue, just respecting the Suzaku, initiates with that unstoppable force.
Let's see what are they gonna pick up for the jungle. This is where Naga eSports should probably focus on, because it actually makes let's face it, the jungler creates the pace of the game at the start, at the early phases of the match. But then again, the Graves pick for Imperium Pro Team Blue just allow them to keep farming until they're able to get their spikes, and they actually overwhelmed Naga eSports because they didn't have the right setups. It was very messy, and Imperium Pro Team Blue just really knew how to make the right calls. Meanwhile, knowing that they don't have first pick, they have changed their strategies here. Malphite still banned, Echo banned. It's one of the really nice picks, but Naga eSports really like these first pick supports. I've seen them first pick Alistars. I've seen them. Example, Exhibit A. There's the Trundle right there. So let's see how IPT Blue responds to this. Really a fast drafting phase here.
Yeah, and checking out the bans from Naga there, they actually ban out their own Maokai, not wanting to give it to Yux. But Yux, you know what? He doesn't care for the Maokai. He loves the Nautilus. Speaking of just Nautilus, if you guys saw that video where Rito made the artificial Nautilus reef or no,
a statue.
Yes.
Nautilus.
Statue.
No.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, moving on.
All right, so it's going to be the Nautilus in the top lane, and Trevor here getting himself a Kindred in the jungle. So we do know that this is 6.7, guys, and Kindred can only now self-cast the Lam's Respite.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think this will beg most Kindred players to actually be on the front line when they want to activate this to either set up the fight
or save a teammate.
Save a team, exactly.
So right now we're going to be seeing a Rise pick. This is most likely going to be with Daigo. I haven't seen him play Rise yet, but if Imperium Pro Team Blue does lock this in, Gragas is pretty much going to be where again?
Jungle, probably.
So that's going to be a Kindred.
Wait,
what? Okay, I have seen...
Support Gragas, maybe.
Wait.
Kappa. That's why we have this.
For
Kappa.
Kappa. Maybe it could be a No. It could be a support Nautilus and then a top Gragas. I have seen top Gragas as being played in recent tournaments. Actually, 2 tournaments. One First Blood tournament, and then the TNC Cup, the Nexus King. We've seen the top Gragas. But this is really something. Imperium Pro Team Blue mixing it up a bit, making Naga eSports think about their picks. And meanwhile, Naga eSports, quite obvious with their draft. No one's going to be playing the mind games here. And it looks like it's going to be a top Rise. It's going to be a top Rise. Jungle Graves, AD Carry, Ashe, and then, of course, Serath. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Is that right?
Well, I kind of get the premise of this. Get an Ashe Arrow out, and then, or a Rise Rune Prison, and then use the long range of that Xerath for the pickoff, especially with the right of the Arcane. So we'll see if they do that. There's a lot of poke here, of course, with the Xerath. Good amounts of wave clear, I should say, and lots of late game potential with their lineup, though. It looks pretty scary. On the side here of Naga, or rather Imperium Pro Team Blue, lots of early game potential, especially with that hover over Lissandra.
Yeah. This is the first time I've seen this kind of comp from Naga eSports. Actually, from all the games I've probably watched, this is going to be the first time I'm going to see this happening. So, if ever kanina they lack the damage, I'm pretty sure this time around they won't ever lack the damage. That's going to be Rise at the top, Suzaku. I think this is my first time seeing Suzaku on a Rise. And Daigo on the Serath as well. So a lot of first times here. On my perspective here for Naga eSports, it's actually refreshing to look at. Meanwhile, Imperium Pro Team Blue playing with their strengths. The only new thing about this is the Gragas top on Imperium Pro Team Blue side.
I think that is actually not a bad choice, since if you can check out the jungle, the jungle, the mid lane, and the ADC position, all of them are very squishy targets. So having a Gragas on that top lane because the Maokai was banned is great. And of course, Shadow getting himself another hook champion. We've seen him on a Thresh, really nice. So we'll see him on a even more aggressive hook type of support here on that Nautilus.
Yeah, he really likes those skill shoddy champions. I mean, we have seen Shadow on the Morgana. He has been getting a lot of steals back at the MPGL7
Man.
Oras na, and it was really, really great to see. I wonder, well, you can't steal with a Nautilus. You can't steal.
Maybe you can depth charge it. I mean, depth charge through the Baron and get the steal on that. That would be even more epic
That's
than a
true.
Dark Binding from a Morgana.
That'll be interesting. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
The
so
Shadow Stealer.
So if you guys are like wondering what we're talking about Shadow being on a Morgana stealing the Baron, you guys should check out. Was it the playoffs? I think it was the playoffs for
It was a playoffs.
Yeah, for the Mineski Pro Gaming League Season 7. That's on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Mineski TV, and just look for it. And I think that was against. Not sure if it was Legacy.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But then
Yeah.
a miracle happened. I believe if Shadow did not steal
The Baron.
the Baron, Imperium Protein Blue could have lost that fight.
For sure, for sure.
And another story, Shadow on a Braum, he stole the 5th dragon away from the opposite team, I believe, with the Braum Q. So he really likes, he's really... But,
he's proficient as a stealer.
A stealer.
But he's not a jungler. He's a support.
Alrighty.
That's how swag this guy is,
yeah,
guys.
swag. So I'm looking forward for more swag steals from Imperium Protein Blue Shadow.
Yeah. But now, going back just a little bit more into the compositions, it was almost the Lissandra. Thankfully not. I really like this pick coming in from the Twisted Fate for Chalk, especially because it's Daigo on a Xerath. We haven't seen him play it, but the premise of this Twisted Fate, aside from it being the Destiny giving you lots of mobility around the map, it shows immediately where Daigo is.
Yeah.
So you can, adjust your positioning depending on when you activate this Destiny, where Daigo is actually positioned. So you can actually catch him off guard, or, just go out of the range of his ultimate and then, mess up what Naga is trying to set up.
Definitely. And in conjunction to that, Imperium Protein Blue, with this double teleport spell that they have here against Naga eSports, they have the tendency to get outnumbered, Naga eSports. So we'll see if Imperium Protein Blue will try to make the play the overwhelming numbers play, quantity over quality, in other words, against Naga eSports. Because I think we've seen this sort of similar strategy where everybody 5-man down bot lane, as there's only probably 3 or 4 people down there, overwhelming them with numbers, overwhelming them with damage, and with the CCs. So I think Imperium Protein Blue has the right amount of disengage, but for them to actually start a fight, they might rely on the body slam of the Gragas and the explosive cask, or try to the depth charge and try to slow people down.
But aside from just, the hypothetical, not actually hypothetical, hypothetical, but now it's going to another fact of these compositions. Looking into how they built it, I am not afraid of Naga's early game at all. They scale, all of them scale.
Yeah,
even
really
the
well.
jungle scales. But problem is Imperium Protein Blue have such explosive early game potential, especially when Chalk gets his ultimate, Yux gets his ultimate, Kinzen gets his first item. These are all like early game advantages Imperium Protein Blue can use to catch off Naga eSports while they're still weakened down. They're not fully, grown when they get their first items.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. That's like what I'm looking right now from their composition. But before that, welcome to the Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. This is again the Mineski Pro Gaming League Season 8 League of Legends Rise from the rest. Of course, for the blue side, we have Naga in the top lane. It's going to be Suzaku on the rise. In the jungle, it's going to be Akanrain. On the Graves in the mid lane, it's going to be Daigo with the Xerath. In the bottom lane duo, we have Luxuria on the Frost Queen Ashe, and his support shall be Badger onto that Trundle.
And on the red side, hold that thought.
I'm holding.
Okay.
And now the thought's gone.
Yeah, now let's continue. In the red side, we have Imperium, Protein Blue. In the top lane, we have Yux with the Gragas. In the jungle, we have Trevor on the Kindred. In the mid lane, we have Shock with a Twisted Fate. Kinzon on the AD carry role with the Lucian. And for the support, we have Shadow on the Nautilus.
Alright, now if Naga actually goes in for a lane swap, this actually might benefit even more Imperium Protein Blue because yeah, they might get themselves an early tower, but they're not setting up a lot of revenue here for Suzaku. Yes, he can get possibly, waves of CS or he can tower hug, but that's not how you want to play a Rise, especially, coming from this composition from Naga eSports.
Yeah, where's the Rise right now? He's gonna be buddy systeming with the Graves, and looks like Imperium Protein Blue is aware of where Graves is gonna start, knowing that they place a ward there, an early ward at the red side. It has expired right now. But meanwhile, we're gonna expect Chalk to have a bit of a hard time here in the mid lane, considering the fact that Xerath doesn't need to get close just to harass there for Chalk, and his passive works really well in continuing and with the mana management.
Yeah, Chalk also has some mana management.
Mana?
Yeah, especially from the blue
card
let's see
well.
him throw
So
it
both
away.
of them.
There you go. He gets some mana back.
Both of them have the poke that they need, the sustain as well. But the chain of skills from Daigo is definitely gonna have Chalk have a hard time here in the mid lane, especially when Sarah reaches level 6. The assassination potential here on Naga side, especially if Daigo is very proficient with those skill shots onto the right of the arcane here from Sarah. I'm actually looking forward to those really long range, max range SS of the Serath here later onto the game, with finishing and doing the cleanups for Naga eSports.
Yeah. Also, this setup here coming from Naga doesn't promote too much counter jungling against the Kindred. And Kindred, of course, delights herself or himself on getting those passive stacks, especially when it's like this, appearing on a Rift Scuttler. It just allows for even more, stacking of the passive.
Yeah, so I can actually hear screaming in the gaming room where the players are actually playing. Meanwhile, we'll see. It's gonna be a similar early game. Meanwhile, Akirain trying his best here.
But of course, it's going to be him getting caught out here, and Akirain, oh my gosh, he's gonna flash over the wall, and he does have his bot tier 2 to save himself, so Yux! Alright, he gets the one hit.
Yeah, from the turret.
Yeah, have you watched Lord of the Rings Hobbit? Because this skin from Gragas looks really similar to the bald dwarf there.
I'm guessing no, not yet.
Right then. Alright, so he's gonna get caught out here. He has his flash though, but will it be enough? There's a lot of slow coming in, especially from Luxuria and that exhaust. He flashes over the wall, and now it's going to be the members of Imperium Protein Blue up on the offensive. Now it's going to be a teleport here coming in from Chalk. There's the blue card. There's the damage coming in from Kinzon. Loss of damage onto Luxuria. Now one more hit, and Kinzon will get the final slash onto that Ashe. Now it's going to be Akirain with the end of the line to stop the aggression coming in from Imperium Protein Blue side, and that will be just disengage 1-for-1. But I think that favors
that favors Naga eSports.
Just a little bit because of the first blood.
Aside from the first blood, you actually burned Chalk's teleport. So after, he will rely on the Destiny later on to make the proactive plays in terms of creating pressure or making a pick from the side lanes, top or bot. But that was really well played. They actually just exchanged one kill. They got first blood. First blood actually went to the Ashe, so it might speed up her, of course, her spikes, her itemizations, her spikes. She got the call actually here for himself. So I'm guessing a decent wave clear naman. That's gonna be the W from the Ashe. The attack speed is gonna work well here. Meanwhile, it's gonna be 1-for-1 turret there for both teams. But then again, I have to hand it to Naga eSports because they burned summoner spells and they got first blood.
That's true. There was a ping onto that Rift Herald, It looks like Trevor wants to get this wrist cutter. Obviously, he wants to. That's another passive for him. Goes in against Suzuku. Lots of damage from the machine gun rise. Oh my gosh, he's almost dead, but he flashes away from the damage. Misses the tumble over the wall, and Suzuki here might even re-engage onto him, but in the sides, it is Yux. Can provide some support for Trevor here. Do they have vision? Nothing whatsoever though. Double teleport here in the bottom lane. Suzuku hungry for even more damage, and Luxuria gets caught out. Kenzo with a nicely timed flash in, but Daigo will catch on. Suzuku finalizes the hit. Stun onto Suzuku there, and Yux pretty tanky. Still level 4 though. But can they reinitiate? No, they cannot. Suzuku 2-0-0 right now against Yux's 0-2-1.
The locks are perfect for Naga eSports. Their comp fits so well because everybody can just chain in all these skills, and it could go either way. Daigo may, with the easy route from Suzaku just allows the Serath, Daigo to just land the E and just chain everything down, allowing the burst. You wouldn't need the Rite of the Arcane because the damage is just enough from the cycle of skills of Arise and from the Serath. Just QWE, you're fine. Meanwhile, Daigo can actually save the Rite of the Arcane onto better setups. If ever everybody is like clumped into one area, it's gonna be easier for the Serath to land all these hits. And that's what happened from earlier. Like, two people were, let's just say, sort of locked down in that choke point near the brush, the tri-brush. It worked perfectly well for Naga. Imperium Protein Blue not respecting Naga's picks at the moment. And seriously, it's a very, very scary pick because everybody has the CC. They can chain you down, burst you down, and move on to the next target. Remember, these skills are on relatively low cooldowns, so they can easily move on to the next target and burst you down. Meanwhile, that's gonna be Destiny.
Destiny onto that mid lane, but Daigo is now under his own turret. Trevor goes in a little bit too crazy there, uses the Lamb's Respite onto himself, but can he survive? Lots of members of Naga eSports are here onto that mid lane. One more slap from the buckshot, and that shall be Trevor going down, followed next by Shock. Double kill here for Akarin. Yes, he does. And he is now going to redeem himself from that game 1. Looks to be very aggressive here onto that Graves. Now Shadow is the only one defending this mid tier 1. Yux is now walking over to this mid tier 1 to defend. But will they be able to? Yes, they will. And I'm just checking here right now. IPTB are making plays without level 6s.
Exactly. And Kidson versus Akarin right there.
This guy has been dashing in, flashing in, and it has been rewarding him very, very much. That's his 3rd kill of the game already. And Imperium Protein Blue, they may not have everything right now for the early game, but Kinzen has been getting quite a bit of kills. Might shoot him up to get his SM receiver even faster than the first item that Luxuria is trying to build.
Yeah, so very well played. This is what I'm talking about from Naga eSports. This is a different side of them where instead of, avoiding all these fights, and just aiming for the turrets and just confusing the enemy team with rotations, they're actually catching Imperium Protein Blue in fights they cannot handle at all, even though they do have the advantage for the double TP and try to overwhelm them. It's just that IPTB not prepared. They know how to respond when Destiny is being used, when Teleport is being used. And the advantage is that aside from their relatively low cooldown skills onto their picked champions, is that they can easily burst someone down when someone is CC'd.
He misses the stun though, but delivers Daigo into the embracing hands of Imperium Protein Blue. That's what I'm talking about. But again, Imperium Protein Blue only did this when they got level 6s. They should have waited for their ultimates to actually have been active for them. Naga have been capitalizing so much onto that, and they get themselves right now an 800 gold lead. Looking really scary because, again, this composition of Naga is super strong, very strong. In that late game, stun connects onto Yux.
No, look at that. Yux actually gets rooted right there, and actually the arrow, and that's the collateral damage being used to finish off the kill. Gragas has been slain by Akarin, and that rhymes.
True that. Alright guys, sorry for that one, but there you go. I was talking about how they can get the picks. That's it. It's going to be the ultimate coming out of the Ashe, and then the potential, the lockdown potential from the Rise, and just the damage from this Naga composition. Now Chalk has the blue buff, and Daigo has his range advantage, and he just wants to go in onto Chalk. Now we do see all over the map, it's going to be Luxuria. No ultimate, has his flash and heal though, but will it be enough for him to escape? There's the secondary slow and stun, and he will just go down easy peasy, living greasy, and there you go. Chalk gets his first kill of the game.
Great with the blue buff and the utility, the Boots of Lucidity, just to try and keep someone locked down with the gold cards. Just tinatabihan niya lang yung Ashe, and it worked perfectly well. Meanwhile, in the top lane.
Speaking of champions who get caught out without their mana, it's going to be Suzaku here, followed up onto the members by the members of Imperium Pro Team Blue. There's a nice hook coming out of Shadow and Akare. You're gonna get shut down. Double kill here for Kinzen, and now Imperium Pro Team Blue for the first time in this second game have gotten themselves the gold lead.
Yes, 6-1 on to Kinzon here, and moving forward with that, Imperium Pro Team Blue actually taking the Rift Herald with Badger, trying to distract everybody else from IPTV. Who's gonna get the buff? And there's
another
the arrow!
Stun! Here comes the stun, here comes the volley, and there you go. Luxuria just punishes this very, very annoying push here. Not actually annoying, rather the persistent take here onto the Rift Herald by Imperium Pro Team Blue. This is just Naga eSports as well as Imperium Pro Team Blue catching people left and right, people without mana, people with low health, and it's just working well for these two teams. It's just you know, equivalent changes left and right.
Yeah, it's so messy right now. And the thing is, the Rift Herald kept resetting after all the hard work Imperium Pro Team Blue invested onto the RH.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta know when the when the hard work is just not mattering anymore. You gotta go away.
Let go.
Yeah, you gotta let go.
Hot there. Here comes Hugo towards Azurai here.
From Mineski TV.
So back to the game.
You never left the game.
You never left the game.
Here comes Deja Vu, ladies and gentlemen. But no, Daigo has his flash ready and waiting, and will be able to use that explosive cash to push him away from the embracing arms of the members of Imperium Pro Team Blue in that mid lane.
And that is the thing here from Imperium Pro Team Blue. Their only options for engaging or catching someone off guard is that explosive cast, especially they want to take Daigo out of the game.
But here go Trevor, not respecting the damage of Suzaku, almost goes down, has his last respite, flashes in actually, and gets the last hit. Now Akron getting caught out with the stun, with the hooks, and he will just get body slammed by Yux, and that shall be an easy 2-0 for Imperium Pro Team Blue.
Hot damn, I really thought Naga eSports was the one who could have won that, because Trevor was sort of overconfident in that play, but it worked out really, really well. He was confident because he does have the land respite still there available to him. Meanwhile, Naga eSports still trying their best to defend this mid turret. They still have Daigo, still have everybody. Holy cow! Everybody's falling left and right from Naga eSports. There's the hook, there's the stun. Chalk with a flank with the cards. Are you Gambit?
I guess he is. But you hear there the howl of the wolf just finalizing the hit. Lots of damage coming out of Trevor, and Trevor right now has been using this this champion, the Kindred, as a bait champion. I mean, that actually is, I think, one of the playstyles that they're betting on because of the self-cast on the Lance Respite. It's easier to use it. And that, you know, the members of Naga are like, can we go in onto him full YOLO? Because he still has that saving grace tool. It doesn't work for them. Trevor just goes in, gets a gets an easy kill, and then Akari was just out of position. He thought that he could help his top laner, but no, this gives it another kill for the side of Imperium Pro Team Blue. Now we're also actually forgetting one of the members of IPTB here.
Which one?
Kinzen.
Kinzen!
He's been farming. Look at that, 109 CS, 6-1-0.
Yes, and he's been free farming here in the bot lane, having the best of time. And Imperium Pro Team Blue just knows when to call him. Hey Kinzen, you might want to join us. Something might happen. So we're gonna force a clash. Naga isn't ready.
But IPTB are just K. They have their own pseudo, not actually pseudo, but their other ADC.
Their other ADC. There's
Trevor.
the Kindred there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Trevor. You can see how Trevor is very He has a
Proactive.
plan. He's proactive. He has a plan in mind. And the thing, I like this Lich Bane first item completed for the Twisted Fate. He just wants to burst as much as he can with the normal attack, and then let the rest follow through and do the cleanup. So Imperium Protein Blue gets the second dragon of the game. Naga wanted to contest, but it was just too late. They did not have vision whatsoever. They do have vision on the Rift Herald, but then, you know, never mind. Huwag na natin pansinin yan. We're here at the Dragon Pit. And Naga eSports not looking, it's like they're sort of lost right now. I mean, it turned out to be messy for both of these teams, but Imperium Protein Blue has been finding the fights that they have needed. Actually, I did not complete my statement earlier. Aside from the Gragas being there for the initiate, it's also the double teleport plays the gold cards Chalk can deliver when somebody is alone or very, very separate from the rest of the team.
That's true, and Naga have been getting caught out a bit there. You did see early game, it was Suzuku as well as Luxuria, you know, trying to get themselves some resources in the side lanes. Problem is, even if Naga eSports actually get themselves some vision outside of their own jungle to catch these people, to see if someone's gonna go in, you already said it. Double teleport in your face, and then you just go down. And right now, there's about a 3,000 gold lead here for the side of Imperium Protein Blue. Now, they look very strong. There was a like 3v3 skirmishes that they won without Kinzon. Now they're looking even stronger with him, having that Essence Reaver and Zeal, I think, almost done to the Rapid Fire Cannon, and they're now going to move as a group to try and go onto the members of Naga eSports, especially that Naga don't have
the reset.
a true disengage tool. There's the reset, but we'll see if Naga will try to contest. No.
Who's gonna get the Rift Herald though?
Probably Kinzon. So it's going to be a push here.
Yeah, they're gonna be pushing as a group, or probably gonna just let Kinzon farm here. Let's see what the call is from Imperium Protein Blue. It's more this, if ever they do not take or make use of this Rift Herald, it's more of a take, because there's nothing else to take away from the map. It's also a way to deny Naga eSports the Rift Herald, since they're the ones who really likes this buff. And
basically, it's a free objective.
Alrighty.
Chalk not using his ultimate. Is he a madman? Yes, he is. He gets caught out. Lots of damage, but flashes over. The collateral damage coming in from Akurei. Now it's Yux just using his ultimate to split away the members of Naga eSports, and Imperium Protein Blue are on the offensive. Now it's Skinson just dashing in, putting a lot of damage onto Akurei, but no follow-up whatsoever, as Shadow was a little bit too late to the play there. He could not use his ultimate as well as his hook, and no blood has been shed onto that, but Chalk is alive for some reason.
I really thought Chalk was about to die there. That was supposed to happen, but it did not. He still had a flash. Yux was there for the counterplay with the cast for the disengage, and it worked so well, because if ever Naga eSports committed to that, Imperium Protein Blue could have taken like 2 or 3 kills, and all 5 were already there. It's gonna be an early 4v5. Meanwhile, Daigo has to walk and go down to the bot lane slowly, because he doesn't have Destiny or Teleport like the Twisted Fate. So it could have worked out really well, but then Naga eSports quick with the calls and said, no, this is not a fight that we can fight, because Daigo is still on his way. If we committed or try to bait, it's not going to work out. And Kinzon landed a lot of hurt already onto the graves on Akurei. And yeah, he doesn't have the defensive spells actually for... Oh, hold on.
Yux, you're gonna get caught out just by a little bit there, and flashes over as he is respecting the 3-2-1 Rod of Ages and need to see large rod onto Suzuku. Even though Naga eSports is on the backside here, they are still, you know, gonna scale into this late game, especially with the Rise. We have seen, you know, some really scary players on a machine gun Rise, or a shotgun Rise, and you just gotta admit, its strength in the late game is something to be respected, even with, you know, Imperium Protein Blue having a very strong showing throughout this game.
Exactly, and Naga eSports though, I kind of wonder, it's them just waiting for, just slowing things down, because if you look at both sides, they do have really nice scaling. They have the late game, they have really nice damage here, and especially the Rise who can make the flank plays. I can imagine though, he doesn't have teleport still, but he can take advantage of that. Try to burst someone down. It could be the Lucian or the Twisted Fate, but if you think about it, if Kindred is there, he can just use the Lamb Respite just to deny Rise's power spike when he activates his ultimate when he has all the stacks that he needs. And it's just gonna let Rise become a sitting duck because he's the all-in champion. Burst in your face, as you have said earlier. So they can actually time their cooldowns right just to make Naga eSports' comp a little bit weaker, but they still have Daigo for the backup damage, the backline damage that they should respect and fear, because he can also easily burst someone down without risking his positioning.
Now, both teams looking to go in onto Suzuku. He misses the Q, but he flashes away from the gold card there. Will save his life though, but again, that's a flash use from the top lane of Naga eSports. This can urge Imperium Pro Team Blue to go in for an aggressive objective here. They can go for the Baron, but it looks like they're also respecting, like you said, Naga eSports damage, especially that Daigo is now about to get his second item. Looks like it's about that time, and they're just gonna go in and get this third dragon up the game. It's pretty uncontested throughout, but Luxuria, what are you doing, man? You're just gonna get caught out here. Uses his ultimate though, but Yux doesn't care. He delivers with the explosive cast, goes in and blocks with the barrel roll, but where are the members of Imperium Pro Team Blue? Oh, never mind, they're here. There's Chalk, uses the gold card onto a minion, but no, there you go. You see Badger actually blocking the hook, but he has his ultimate, gets the knock up there onto Accurate and just pops him down, and Kinson gonna flash away from Luxuria.
Wow.
Flashes back in, or dashes back in and gets himself a triple kill. And that's going to be an easy 3-0 for Imperium Pro Team Blue.
And that is without the teleport plays or the Destiny plays. It wasn't that. It was because Luxuria was out of position. They know who is the most vulnerable target, and that easily 3 kills, 9-1-0 right now on, not Luxuria, on Kinzon rather. And right now, Yux, that's a fat man, that's a fat man.
He's waiting, he be waiting, gets the stun, flashes in from Chalk, and now that's going to be Suzuku going down. 4-0 for Imperium Pro Team Blue, late 4-0, as well as the third dragon into their own hands. Now 3,000 or 4,000 gold in favor of them as well.
You can see the gap of the shot calling here and the speed of their decisions between Imperium Pro Team Blue and Naga eSports. It says Imperium Pro Team Blue seems to be like they're 2 steps ahead of Naga, and Naga is not prepared in their response or their counterplay, and that is why IPTV just taking kills all around the map, taking objectives here and there, and Naga seems lost compared to their early phase of the game, and it's just IPTV taking advantage of how sort of lenient and lost Naga eSports is at the moment.
You really truly can't split push with the Rise. I mean, you can, clear waves really fast, but in terms of damage on the towers, it's gonna be non-existent there, and it showed. I mean, there was a long skirmish in that bottom lane where it resulted in 3-0, and Yux was even allowed to recall and teleport the top lane, getting Suzuku.
Yeah, and the thing is, you have to fear the double TP, because these people can just interchange pressure or split push. Now hold that thought.
Shock now getting caught out here. It's a 3v1. Oh, he just barely hits the ultimate there, but it begs Imperium Pro Team Blue to get for this Baron, as 3 members of Naga were actually in that bottom lane. Do they have vision of this? They do not, but I think they have they thought of what's happening, as nobody from the side of IPTV was there. I think Shock actually just wanted to be on the side lane and baited out Naga to go down onto him. Even if he got caught out, it would have been still a win for Imperium Pro Team Blue, because they got themselves the Baron, they can get this top tier 2, and if it got away, it still will put Naga eSports on even a much more downward spiral.
The thing is, the vision from Naga eSports is very, very lacking. If they had deeper vision onto Imperium Pro Team Blue's jungle, mainly the blue side, they would have found out that they did not need 2 people just for Chalk. Meanwhile, let's see what's gonna happen.
Speaking of 2 people, Yux here as well as Chalk are going on to Luxuria. Misses the barrel as, oh no, the stun. But it doesn't matter. Suzuku now blood hungry, wants to get the second kill onto Yux, but here comes Trevor on the sideline. He's a pretty fed Kindred here, puts lots of damage. There's the hook, there's the explosive cast, and he will not survive as Imperium Pro Team Blue just ramming over, just stomping over Naga eSports like a titan.
That was, again, gonna say, it's very, very weird to invest 3 people onto Chalk, leaving the Baron very open. So it's either that they really want to make plays around the map, but it's not the wisest decision, especially the fact that you leave Baron very, very open.
Baron open, and even Daigo open there for the stun, for the hook. He goes down, and Akari will follow through. So many tanky members from the side of Imperium Pro Team Blue gets the stun onto Yux, but it doesn't matter anymore. He's just too tanky there as the Gragas and even Kinzen uses the culling to give him, or to give his jungler Trevor there support to get the double kill.
And it's so unlike Naga eSports to take kills first and then let an objective open. It's sort of, I don't know, I haven't seen this side, but then it's very action-packed. 11-21 onto the scoreboard. Imperium Pro Team Blue looking really, really strong and really, really solid. But I really like Naga eSports' effort in renewing their style. I mean, that's Suzaku on a rise, that's Sarah, and Luxuria on a more supportive role. So they're delegating all the power threats onto the other members of Naga eSports, because we've noticed in the previous split, it's always has been Luxuria and Daigo and then Suzaku on a more utility sort of champion. But meanwhile, this is different, and I think it's something that can catch teams off guard if played right.
That's true, but right now, they still need plenty of practice for this, as it looks like Chalk goes in for the backstab, but that's caught out by the ultimate of Luxuria. He flashes over to save himself, but it doesn't matter anymore, as there's another ultimate coming out of Yux to deliver. Akare gives a double kill onto Kenzen, and they got the hook onto Suzaku, and now it's going to be only Luxuria to defend against this behemoth Imperium Pro Team Blue 5-man Death Squad in that mid lane, pushing it. They just want to go in. They're so hungry for the kill. They're so hungry for the 2-0, giving themselves a very strong start for the Mineski Pro Gaming League Season 8.
Wow, look at Kinzon go. It's been a while since I've seen him in competitive play, actually. So, Kinzon, great performance, great positioning, knows when to go in, knows when to go out, knows when to go back in. So, he hasn't really been rusty, despite being not in competitive play. But yeah, 28 minutes in, great job for Imperium Pro Team Blue. They take 3 points from this match against Naga eSports.
So congratulations to Imperium Pro Team Blue for a very dominant performance there in their second game. It looked like Naga eSports were about to get a really strong early game because Imperium Pro Team Blue were a bit too aggressive without their ultimates, but it didn't pan out well for them. We were actually waiting for Naga eSports to get into that late game, but it just looked really scattered from them. They really didn't have a true front line to actually stop, the stomping of Yux as well as Shadow onto their lineup.
Exactly, and I think it's one of these, Naga is obviously probably experimenting with this kind of power threat, delegating these power threats onto different players instead of the usual Luxuria, the usual Daigo. So we've seen game 1, Daigo more in utility, now he's in a more backline powerhouse
Mage.
and putting Suzaku instead of the setter, the utility. He went for the rise. Well, he does still set up fights, but then he's more of a powerhouse threat when it comes to that late game. But well played by both teams, but Imperium Pro Team Blue came up on top.
Yes, so that concludes this first best of 2 series between Naga eSports and Imperium Pro Team Blue. We still have our second match of the night. That's going to be Smart.mineski. Let's go to the schedule to show our viewers first.
Yes.
That's going to be Smart.mineski versus Infused Esports.
Yes, I'm really, really excited coming into this matchup. I mean, MPGL7, Smart.mineski were the champions, so let's see how they will enter MPGL8.
Yeah, especially with a refresh onto, their lineups right now. I'm curious to see what they can bring to the Mineski Pro Gaming League Season 8. So we'll be, going back into that as we take a very short break, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm Asarai from Mineski TV, and alongside here with me is...
Riku.
And this is the Mineski Pro Gaming League Season 8 League of Legends, brought to you by GG Network, ViewSonic, Gigabyte,
Secret Shop, Mineski Infinity, and Garena Philippines.
and we'll be right back.